And April, can I have you, oh, are you on a computer, April, or just on your phone?
I'm sitting at a computer.
Oh, okay. Can you monitor the chat box just in case for me? And I'm going to, I don't think I need to mute everybody because it's pretty quiet out there. Sometimes we have a little feedback, but we don't seem to have that problem. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
All
Yes.
right. Okay, so, and as you can see on the picture on the screen, that's kind of how I feel right now. Like one of those rides upside down, because I keep saying, everybody keeps saying, oh, it's going to slow down in June. It's going to slow down in June. And it's just been, as you know, in a new position, it's like one thing after another. And so lots of changes going on and lots of things to do. And we're already well into planning for next year. So what our goal is today, let's get on the right screen, is we're going to talk about the frameworks first after and talk about due dates and challenges you have with them, and hopefully we can get some final drafts in. We're going to look at an example of the deliverable that I am developing. We're going to review the agenda and talk about details for the July meeting. I'm going to have you each give me a verbal status report. Where you are, what you need help with, and any other thing you want to kind of bring up, and then answer questions.
Lori?
So, yeah.
Is anyone else still seeing the time remaining countdown on the screen?
Yes.
I am.
Okay.
I would need to drag it down to the bottom of the screen with my own mouse.
So,
It's on now. All right. Thank you.
can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Did you see my picture? You got to go back and see my picture. Oh, hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
We did just see Brenda. All right, so on the, I sent an example of the framework over to you, the one that I developed for the fundraising luncheon that I am doing for my presentation. And so I just want to, our goal here is to try to get those finished up and sent over to me so I can kind of review them and then send them over to her so she can have print those for us so that we don't have to print ourselves and have them ready for us there. Okay, I'm going to, let me mute you here just a second. Okay, so if you have a question during the course of it, go ahead and raise your hand, or just better yet, just write your notes out, and then when it's your turn to do your status report, then you can go ahead and ask those questions. But please try to get those project frameworks finalized and sent over to me. You can either send them to me through FreeCamp, or you can just send them to my Gmail account. So that I can get those reviewed, and if any of them, you know, if we need to make any last minute adjustments, so I can send them all over in one group to Brenda so that she can get those printed. Uh-oh, I lost my mouse. Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening here. My screen froze. Okay, there we go. So I tried something new. Just a note that I wanted to remind you that Brenda and April did grant us some resource money so that we make sure that we have a really professional product. And I started messing around with a digital folio or digital binder for mine, and I kind of want to show it to you. Fair warning, it is not finished. And so, let's see, we got a person asking a question here. I need those 2 weeks in advance in order to have, oh, okay. All right, thanks. So this is nowhere near finished, and I have just been messing around with it because it's a new tool for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, and hopefully it's going to pull up. I might have to. Let's try it again. See where it's pulling up. It's pulling up. Okay, it's pulling up on my other screen. Let me pull it over. All right. So what it is, I don't know if anybody's ever used this before, but it's called Live Binders. And I'm going to show you a little bit just to how it works, and then I'll show you how it looks once we get through with it. And I just upgraded. So I was using the free version when I first started developing my binders, but I just added on for $25 for 1 year, which I'm going to use resource money for, to be able to add some other options and be able to add some other images to it. So this is how it kind of looked. It's really easy to function in. So you can have multiple binders. So if you decided that you wanted to make, I've just done one binder here, but if you decided that you wanted to do multiple binders, like there's certain components of it you wanted to put in different binders, you could do that. But let's take a look at it. This binder. So this is how it's going to kind of look. Now, I'll be able to, now that I've got the $25 annual option, I'm going to be able to go through it here and really add some features to it. So add our logo, add some more tools. There's some subfolders that will let you add, because I have a ton of documents related to this. So in addition to the framework, I have a ton of other planning documents that I've had. So, you know, a checklist for marketing materials and a checklist for each person. So anyway, let's take a look at it. So this is what I have in, and I just included a little executive summary, and it's going to get more detailed here. But I'm going to go through and just go through this first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit after we look at the deliverable. I'm going to talk a little bit about being specific about the presentation. So I've got in here, I've got my framework in here, and I've got the project checklist that we used in the planning phase. I've got the scheduling tool, which I'm going to go ahead and pull that open really quick, because I know that's something that I did not include in my my actual initial framework. So I use this tool. The nice thing about the way I laid this out, it was really conducive to the roles the people here in the office play. So when I was assigning tasks for this particular thing, you know, yes, one person was in charge of marketing. You probably saw that from the framework. Yes, one person was in charge of fundraising. Yes, I was in charge of all the programming. One person was in charge of venue and all of the venue management. And so, and then the continuing documents, all that is the documents that are going to be in the binder that's going to help us move forward and have all of that planning stuff in place. So somebody can just pick it up and take it and operate it. And you see that once you get into down here, that it's just all of the different things with that with the individual person, and some of them are still not. I had to go back through and have them redo them. But it's a nice place to be able to just kind of organize everything like you would if you were a binder. Now, you know, so rather than me physically bringing a binder to hand out as my deliverable, what I'll do is I will give everybody the link. It's kind of like a little bit like Free Camp. You just send a link to somebody, and then they're able to access, kind of like Dropbox. Then they're able to access all of the folders, but they'll all be organized by tabs and sub-tabs, you know, including budget. And I can make, again, I can make a sub-tab here so that there's more tabs within this if I want to, you know, kind of itemize out, which I intend to do with marketing materials. We had the video. There's an example of the video that we used, and this is one that's not done yet. It's got the marketing checklist, but it doesn't have all of the documents. So in here would be examples of the posters and examples of the table tents and examples of all of the different marketing material that we developed for the luncheon. And it's not saying that we're, you know, going to use the exact same things next time, but we'll have everything in place so that we can just real easily make those changes. So let's go back here. Anyway, so as I said, that when it started out, it was a free source, and then it was $24.95 to do a 1-year membership for a nonprofit or an educator. So if you're interested in messing around with that, and there's really a lot of storage available once you upgrade to that. And I just did the standard one. So it really is a pretty good storage tool, and it lets you, organize it just like it was a binder. Any questions on that at all? Let's unmute you here for a minute and see what we got. All right.
Do you want us to use a digital deliverable system as opposed to paper?
No, I think it just depends on the individual. I think the coolest part about project management is that you're going to get all different kinds of deliverables, like a hard copy binder, a website, a digital binder, a video. I mean, whatever it is, I think that's the cool part about it, is that you're going to get all different kinds of deliverables, and I think that's appealing, and I think it'll be appealing to the PMI people. So,
how many sets of deliverables do we need to have?
I think we say that in the agenda. So hang on, just hold that thought for a second, Anna. If it doesn't come up, if I don't bring it up, then bring it up again, okay? When Brenda.
Alrighty.
I think there are 10 of us, Lori.
Okay.
And then Michelle Armstrong will be there. So I'm going to say 11.
Okay.
Is that what we said?
Yeah, I think that there was going to, I think I said 12 originally, but I thought why is my mind blank? Diane going to be there?
She might be. So let's do 12.
Okay.
And even if Diane isn't there, she'll probably want a copy of any deliverable. If folks are going to use like a live binder or a video or that type of thing, would you want them to do a one-page summary to be able to give to Michelle so there's something hard copy, or not real concerned about that?
Yeah, that might be a good thing to do. So maybe just along with those frameworks, maybe if you could just write a one-page executive summary that is an overview of that project. That would be a good thing to include, to add on to the framework with that digital, wherever, that video or digital binder, or wherever that's located.
So I know Brenda posted in the chat box a couple of minutes ago that she would need everyone's work so that Ben could run copies. So does that mean that Brenda and Ben will take care of having 12 copies of everything versus teachers needing to bring all that?
I think, well, and you can work with Brenda on that, but I think that was specifically for the framework. So you can
okay.
Definitely check, because I know you guys have, big binders. So that's something you'll have to check with Brenda on.
I would say, yeah, that was for the frameworks, because if you want to bring, that's why we gave you a $100 budget to be able to produce what you would like to produce to share with others.
It's a good thing you're driving.
I'm not driving, I'm sitting.
No, I mean that Kim and Jennifer are driving to.
Oh, like Kim and Jennifer are driving.
I'm actually driving at the moment, too.
I asked Kim if you were going to be driving.
My life's crazy lately.
Okay, so here's a copy of the agenda. 5 o'clock, I think my flight gets in at like 4:10 or something like that. So however this is going to look, I'm going to let Brenda and April kind of be the guides there, because I may not be there right at 5 o'clock. So I'll chat with Brenda about the dinner options there, but just plan to be ready to go to dinner. Is there anybody else that is not going to be there? I mean, I'm hoping I'm there close to 5, but anybody else that is coming in a little bit later? All right.
I'm not sure that I have my reservations yet.
Okay.
I'll have to check my email.
Okay. Yeah, that's important. So make sure that you get on that really quick, because airfare is crazy expensive. Okay, so we're going to the German restaurant right next door, is what Brenda said. So that's where 5 o'clock will be. Now, I've kind of got a change.
Was that Jane that said she wasn't sure if she had reservations?
Yeah.
Okay, hotel or flight or both, Jane?
Both.
Okay, will you check as soon as you get off the this webinar,
Yeah,
and then call me
I'm
because we're
looking at my
using a
phone
different.
now, so
What's
I'll
that?
double check.
Okay, thanks. Let me know either way when we get off this call.
I have to book my hotel too. I completely slipped my mind. I was booking everything else and I forgot about that. I'll do that
Okay.
right when I get off the phone.
Perfect, thank you.
That's my trick. You can't do that, Jen. Okay, so I kind of changed my mind a little bit about something. I originally said that I was going to come in and do a practice presentation on that night, and I think that's waiting too late. So I know I'm a long ways done, but I've got a couple of full days that I've set aside to work on this. So I am going to try to at least, and it's probably going to happen that 30th, first, second weekend there, the 4th of July weekend, is I am going to go ahead and do a presentation. So walking through with just the audio and my slides and record myself, and so that you guys can see ahead of time. And I'm not saying that my example is right or wrong, because again, these are going to be very different, but I think it's important for you to have an example prior to the night before, in case you need to, then we can really talk when we get there, if you need to make any tweaks or anything like that to your actual presentation. So I'm going to do that, and like I said, we're going to plan to have that recording available on the Saturday. I think it's the 1st of July. So that's my goal, is to have the whole presentation recorded. Does that sound like a plan? Okay.
That will be really helpful.
Okay. All right. And I'll have, before then, I'll have the rest of my deliverable done and sent over to you so that you can see that too. I've had so much thrown at me that I didn't anticipate at work that it's been a little bit slow going. So anyway, that overnight we'll have main thing is to touch base with everybody and to really have some work time together. And individual, questions and stuff like that on that first night. And then, as Brenda said, Michelle is going to be in attendance and does plan to have a video crew that will be video, that will be recording those presentations, and also be doing some interviews with each of you. Not quite sure if they're going to assign questions or how that's going to work. Brenda, can you help us with that?
So right now, if the crew comes, you'll have the questions in advance, so you'll have time to think about and prepare for them. They anticipate that each of you they'll record the presentations, but then a 10 to 15 minute interview as well, but you'll have the questions in advance.
You didn't just see my face. When it went 10 to 15 minutes, I'm like, eh. Okay.
You'll love it. Because I'll be standing in the background waving each time one of you go before the camera.
Okay, so then the next day, I'm going to go through, we're going to pre-assign these presentation times. So I'm going to get on an app and just send out an email to you with the presentation time schedule there. So just kind of select your presentation, which order you would like to go in. And it's like first come, first serve once I send that out. So let's say I'm going to send that out on this Saturday. I'm just going to send an email that's going to have you pick your presentation time. So just so you know, I'm going to send that out at 11 o'clock my time Saturday morning, which is 2 o'clock Eastern. Okay. And then the last part of the presentation and the next morning is really hearing from Michelle on debriefing the presentations, really hearing from her about some professional development opportunities for all of us, student certification, badging. Think about questions that you might ask her. Expanding PM into the classrooms. I know I've just had a couple recently of teachers that have asked me that they have project management on their classes that they're starting to teach next year. So, and then pilot next steps and doing an evaluation. Anything else to add to the agenda, Brenda or April?
Just really critical, depending on the technology, if you're going to be using technology as part of your presentation, please make sure that I know what it's going to be so I can work with Phil and Stephanie so that they're aware of it as we're coming in and we're not scrambling looking for things. So if you need sound, so we have to have speakers there. If you need tools other than a computer and a project, an LCD projector or a screen, just make sure that I'm aware of that so I can have that prepared, because that hour from 8 to 9 is not going to be enough time if we have to scramble and start pulling technology together.
Okay. Good plan. All right. So, and just remember I did send you a presentation rubric. Again, it's just really important that we are using project management terminology throughout our presentation, and that it's, we're being videotaped, so we want to make sure that it's quality project. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I know that there's confusion between the deliverable and then how the presentation is supposed to go. So my suggestion to you is to walk through your project, how you went through your project with the project management process. So, for example, talk about how you initiated your project, show the framework pieces there, and then showed any additional tools that you used when you were initiating your project. Then show the planning phase, and then show the framework pieces that you used in planning, and then your scheduling tools, all of those things that you used in that planning process. Then go through the initiating phase, and then talk about initiating, monitoring, and controlling all together, of course, and then go through closing and really end with a strong statement of lessons learned and that self-reflection and how your plan can help to support other educators. Questions about that?
Will you send us this presentation as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go through, and I'm going to have each of you do a quick status report. And really what I need to know is, what it is you need help with. And I am going to go through and give you some dates that we can meet for one-on-ones in just a few minutes. But is your framework complete? Are you getting close on your deliverable? Do you need help with your presentation? And are your travel arrangements complete? I'm just going to go right down the list of who is on the list. And Stuart, of course, you start with A, and you're going to go first.
Okay. Let's see. Is the deliverable complete? No, it is not. I can see it from where I'm sitting right now. It will be by the middle of next week.
Okay.
Still, I did not know I was going to be so foggy-brained for so long.
Oh, hey. Is your framework finished?
It's almost. It's close.
Okay.
So I have some work to do on that and getting things put together on that. So it's going to be a busy next few days.
Okay.
Of course, this is what other than going to therapy on Thursday, this is my life.
Okay, so with that framework, let's just say, so she needs those 2 weeks ahead of time. So if we could get those to me no later than next Monday, please, that would be great for everybody.
The framework?
Framework, yeah, just the framework. Your deliverable is yours to do with and get printed and bring with you. So
Perfect. That I can do.
I do want to say though on deliverables, if you need eyes on them, you know, April and Brenda and I are here to, you know, to kind of put an eye on them and help if that's helpful to you. So.
Yeah, I'll probably want somebody to look at it. I know that my flight arrangements have been made, but as everybody started talking, I kept going, did I make that hotel reservation or not? And I think I did, but I'll double check.
Okay. All right, so next we have Jane.
Well, I uploaded my framework, but it's kind of sloppy. So I plan on going back because I thought it was due today, so I kind of finished it up. And but I would like to have a little time to go back and kind of reorganize it a little bit. And I have listed out the items, or kind of started listing out items that I want to put in the deliverable and include in that. But I haven't started putting that together yet.
Okay.
And so my framework is in Freed Camp right now.
Okay, but you're going to update it, so I won't even probably look at those until the weekend. And my plan is, so just so everybody knows, I'm going to send Brenda those frameworks on the 23rd, which is a week from this Friday. So send her to be printed. Okay. And okay, who's next? Jen and Kim.
Kim and I met last week and we worked on it. We're having difficulty in the framework with the last piece because we actually haven't done it yet. So we didn't know really what to do on there. We shared it with you on Google Drive, so if you have time to glance at it, maybe give us some feedback.
I will.
And we are going to be working on the deliverable. We started our Dropbox folder, putting everything in. We're just going to have to get it all printed. And we're hoping to have it done within the next few weeks, all of it.
Okay, cool.
And
all
then
right,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll take a look at your framework and get back to you.
Okay, and while I was pulled in my driveway, I clicked on the site to book it, and it said there's no rooms in the group block available.
Okay, that's a Brenda.
Is it the 9th we're going in, or is it the 10th? The paper says the 10th, but it says the 9th is a Sunday.
The 9th, on Sunday, you're arriving on the 9th. I'll call the Marriott tomorrow. So if you believe you've not made a reservation, email me tonight. I'll call our sales manager tomorrow and get it straightened out. I don't. Annie chose to leave the organization, so I'm trying to pick up all of these pieces. So she was going to check, I know, like 3 weeks ago and let me know if everyone had made their reservations, and
now it let me.
2 weeks ago. What's that?
I just went back in and I clicked because it said I needed a room the 15th that night, and I don't. And now it says it's available. So depending when you're leaving, it may be available. It told me no, and then I went back in a minute later and it told me yes.
Okay.
Yeah, book it.
Sorry. No, it's working. I'll let you know if that doesn't work.
Okay.
Do you have anything to add, Kim, to our presentation?
No, I think you did a good job of covering what we're doing. We did send an email to Brenda because we had a couple pieces that need to go in our binder that we were waiting to hear back from Ben on whether or not he could print the standards for us. So if we could find out if we can get the standards printed in the format that we had previous years, or if we have to print from Curriculum Builder, although we can print it that way, it just won't look as nice, and it will work for our teachers, but we didn't think it would look as good for the PMIef group.
So April, I've been trying to figure this out on my own, but now that I see your name, I'm thinking I probably should have asked you, and I've been asking the wrong people. They're pulling the standards from Curriculum Builder, and they want to print them, but they want them to look as nice as the standards as they appear on the website.
Okay. So I know that when I want to print or copy and print something, or copy and put something into a document from the curriculum builder, I always do some formatting to that work. What standards are you looking to print?
The BA core, the marketing core. We used to print them from MBA Research. We used to click on the drop down and click on the list, but I guess it's not fully updated anymore. That's the document we used to use.
Okay. Let me do some research at the office tomorrow. Let me talk with Mary and Beth and see if we could have somebody at the office do that formatting for you. Okay?
Okay.
And then I'll shoot you an email, Jen and Kim, and let you know, and you can give us the details.
Okay.
That work?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Cool. All right, looks like Lacey left us, and Tammy's not here, and Jody didn't show up, so I'm not quite sure what's that. So let's just go on. So write down these dates. I'm pretty flexible on Fridays, so if you want to schedule a one-on-one with me to talk about anything, we can review frameworks together or do whatever. Not, it would have to be this Friday for frameworks, but schedule a time with one-on-one. Just go ahead and send me an email to my Gmail account, and I'll be happy to try to provide some help to you or some guidance to you. All right, that's all I have. Any questions? Don't forget, on the 11th, on Saturday, I'm going to send out 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time email to sign up for those presentation times that are already in the agenda. And then don't forget to double check and make sure you have a room reservation, and get back to Brenda if you don't. And I am going to post an example of my presentation recording on July 1st and send you the link to that.
Okay, when you look at the presentation pieces that are the Google Drive or the frameworks, will you let us know if that is suitable for printing, or do we need to do something different before it's ready to go to print?
I will look at it, and if it's suitable for printing, then you won't hear from me.
Okay.
But if you hear from me, then I'll just say, hey, can you beef up this or add this or do this, but otherwise.
Okay.
And I wouldn't worry too much, Kim and Jen, about your, obviously you're not going to be able to do your closing. You might be able to do some of the self-reflection piece, like if you wanted to do a peer review on each other, but.
That's where we stopped, is at the people review how the actual activity went.
Yeah, and you can update that later. I mean, they have to understand that, that stuff happens during the summertime. So when is that scheduled for anyway? August? I know you asked.
July 31st, August 1st and 2nd.
Okay, cool.
Also, I was able to check. I do have flight and everything, so I'm good to go for July.
All right, thank you, Ann.
Okay, if nothing else, I will let you go and just call if you need assistance.
Lori, this is April. I have one thing I wanted to add. I'm going to be the lead author on an article that MBA Research and PMIef are putting together. It's an article about this pilot experience that we've been through this year. It's going to be published in ACTE's Techniques magazine, the November-December issue of this year. So one of the things that Lori and Brenda and I talked about doing in terms of this article is kind of showcasing our stars. So showcasing pieces of what all of you have been doing and will be doing at our office in July. So I would say it probably throughout the month of July and maybe early August, I'm probably going to need to get in touch with you individually and maybe get some quotes from you. You know, I may be able to get some of that information from the interview that PMIef does with each of you, but there may also be a need for us to grab some information from you directly that could be put into this article. And for that reason, we may also be taking some still photographs of you in July to submit with the article to the magazine. Just a heads up that that's going to be happening this summer.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and I'll be in touch soon.
Thank you, Lori, for all your work on this.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Lori.